Yeah, what's going on, team? What's going on, team? Welcome to this weekend's weekly market breakdown. Gonna get ready for this week. Just recording the session. It's Saturday right now, 8 p.m. It's crazy. The sun is still out, beaming too. Like it's not like it's getting dark. Like it looks like it's still 6 p.m. Um, yeah, just decided to do the recording for today. I know tomorrow's gonna be a pretty busy day for me, so um didn't want to have to rush it going into tomorrow. Wanted to make sure that we had this recorded and make sure you guys got ready for this week's new trading week. So Sunday we won't have the trading session. Obviously, we'll just have this video recorded. We'll have it posted. If you guys have any questions, um, feel free to leave any of the questions or any comments or anything at all in the comment section, or you could always message me on Discord, right? Privately message me, or you could send a message in the chat in the Vice Trading Discord. So all of that will be in the description below. You'll have the link. And once again, feel free to message me. Right, so the pairs that we're going to be going over are the pairs that you see on the right hand side with the red flag next to their name, starting off with AUD USD, finishing off with US oil. We will be going in order from the top to the bottom. We already know pretty much, right, what we're going to be going, what we're pretty much going to be doing. We'll be on the daily time frame. We'll look at our daily highs, daily lows, look for any continuations. At this point, we wouldn't need to update our daily continuations just yet. You know, the monthly pushes to the top side or to the bottom side. We won't have to do that until the end of the month. So right now we'll just focus on the daily highs, the daily lows. Do the same thing on the 4-hour highs, the 4-hour lows. And do the same thing on the 30 minute, right? 30-minute highs, 30-minute lows, and then we'll look for the continuations for this week on the 30-minute time frame too. So let's start off with AU. Let me grab my bottle of water real quick. Hold on, there's something I had to look up real quick. There's two things we gotta do. One of them is gonna be Forex Factory real quick before we get started. Right, and then sorry guys, I'm doing 10 million things at once. Alright, sorry. Looking something up. Alright, so Forex Factory, right? We know that to get started for the week, right? Look how much news we're gonna start off the week with. Right, we have news at 3:15. Euro news 3:15, 3:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, 9:45 a.m. Keep in mind that we have a lot of news as well. Just this from Friday to now. It's just Saturday. We still have another day. Right? All the news with the war, right? With Iran and Israel. So just imagine how much is gonna happen as soon as that market opens. How much volume you think is gonna kick in? So just be aware of that going into Tuesday. right? We have some folders 10 a.m. Wednesday looks clean with 10 a.m. Thursday 8:30 in the morning, then the rest of the day looks clean, and then Friday 8:30, and then the rest of the day looks clean until pretty much the end of the month. End of the month we have a bank holiday, so Tuesday of the last week of the month, we're not really gonna be start off the month for July. We're not really gonna be trading, right? So we have a bank holiday on the first, on the fourth, which is the Friday. Right now only is a Friday, but we also have 4th of July, bank holiday, Independence Day in the States. And then Thursday we have high impact news and is non-farm. So then I'm assuming the second Friday of the month will also have non-farm. No, which is unemployment claim. Okay, cool. Well, so now we're doing non-farms on Thursdays. So usually Fridays, or is it because they'll probably do it on Thursday this month because exactly not 4th of July, Independence Day, bank holiday on Friday, so they won't have the non-farm on a bank holiday. That makes sense. So do all of them change or just the first Friday? And then the last Friday is okay. That's what I thought, yeah. So that makes sense. For USD obviously. So pretty much just getting ready for the next couple weeks here just to see where we're at. Um outside of everything else from news, market structure will always tell you what you want to know and what you want to see. Right? So outside of everything else, is the market following the trend? Is it following our rules? Is it doing what it's supposed to be doing? And that's what we're going to check. So we know that AU right now we are in an overall downtrend. We are in level 3. We had the break of the zone of consolidation, which was the lower low, and we're looking for the lower high. Now again, we have a lot of point of interest as to where the lower high is going to be. Right? The last point of interest as to where I'm expecting price to give us a pullback to, right? To give us that lower high to then start giving us that real pushback down to the bottom is going to be these highs where you see the gap here on the 30-minute time frame. Right now on the lower time frames, we can see that price is still giving us higher highs and higher lows, which is good. Again, it's not what I want to see because I want to see price go short, but the confirmations of higher highs and higher lows let me know that price is still going to be reaching these highs up to the top to fill this gap to then start making lower lows and lower highs. Right? And right now on the 4-hour time frame, when price reached the previous higher high, it gave us an inducement of the high, did not give us a valid break, and then started creating internal lower lows and lower highs. So right now it's still really a game of wanting to be a little more patient. Technically speaking, on the 4-hour time frame, again, we're trading higher high, higher low, right? The break, higher high. So I can't say that we're turning around and we're gonna continue these lower lows and lower highs until price breaks these lows. Because this could just be a pullback higher low to then continue into a higher high. Price could go lower into these lows down here and give us a higher low down here to then continue into a higher high. Right? So we just want to be a little patient. I'm not really gonna force anything. If something doesn't look picture perfect, meaning if I have to start asking questions about a certain pair or a certain entry, then I'm just not gonna trade it. There's no point. Right? So no continuations on the 4-hour. Again, I'm not gonna update the 4-hour high just yet. We'll wait to see what price wants to do at these lows. And then on the 30-minute time frame, we have a change of character waiting for the break. So what I do like is that price gave us 2 days of drop. Right? What I don't like is that we still don't have the break after the change of character. If price could give us a break and a valid break after the change, then we'll start looking for another trade. Right? If price gives us a 3rd day drop and finishes on a no net or finishes on a rise, then we know that on Tuesday going into Wednesday, we could take that trade going back down again. So that's going to be something that we'll be looking forward to on AU for this week. If price doesn't give us a valid break, then we know that this is where price is just going to give us a higher low to then continue into the higher high. Right? And all of that would make sense, especially here on the daily time frame. what EMA we want to see price bounce off on, the fact that they're crossing, right? So just want to be careful with AU. I'm not gonna can't be forcing trades in these market conditions. Want to make sure that everything is lining up exactly how it needs to be. AUD CAD is still in A1, it's still in the first zone of consolidation. No valid break of the lows just yet. No continuations. Internal time frame still giving us lower lows and lower highs, which is good. Let's go ahead and see if there's any continuations here. No. Oh man, like that happens to me so often where I'm like, why is this not working? It's because it's locked. Right, and then on the 30-minute, we're trading change of character. No break after the change. So nothing for AUD CAD. Euro AUD. Daily time frame. We are in level 3. We have that gap at the bottom of the market. We still haven't reached the previous peak high. We still have a few pips to go, so we're still good, still making higher highs and higher lows. 3 months of rise. After 3 months, market must move sideways or go down. We ended up moving sideways, and then price gave us higher highs and higher lows. 4-hour time frame, 3 weeks of rise. Third week rise drop gave us a fourth week variation back to the top side. And then this week we ended up finishing on a week of rise again. Came back to these highs and gave us another inducement. Hasn't given us a valid break of those highs. On the 30-minute, price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, change of character, higher low, higher high, break of structure, and it gave us 2 days of rise. And it gave us what it appears to be a bullish flag pulse pattern. So you guys already know what the vibes are. Going into the new week, we'll be looking for price to consolidate between 23.6 and 38.2. And that's where we'll look for these entries to continue the push to the top side. Now, before we could say yes, we're going to 100% get a continuation, let's go back to the top and do a little top-down analysis one more time to see if we missed anything. So EA, we know that, okay, we're still in peak high territory. We still have this gap at the bottom. We technically could be doing inducements. And this is where the lower time frame is going to come into consideration. Right? In this 4-hour time frame, in the daily time frame, in this structure, in the zone, how many times has price rejected these highs? Right? How many times? Multiple times. 4 times. Right? I'm not going to count these at the top. We'll just count these. That's at the same shoulder length. Right? So this is where it gets a little tricky for me, because in this area, this is where I'd like to see price give me a pullback. Especially when the daily time frame looks like how it looks, where we're already in the highest point. We made that third push. We had the break of the zone of consolidation. What are we going to get after the break? Price isn't just going to continue to trend and trend and trend and trend and trend. Right? At one point, price is going to stop. It's going to get tired. Right? At one point, price is going to let you know, okay, we're going to start consolidating. Every single time. It's not something that we're just guessing. It's not something that, it happens once in a blue moon every single time. We trend, we get tired, consolidate. Trend, get tired, consolidate. Right? Consolidations could be a few days, it could be a few weeks, it could be a few months. Right? Same thing with the downtrend. Downtrend, boom, wait, alright, consolidate. Boom, go down, okay, boom, consolidate. Same thing every single time on every single pair that you go to. right? It doesn't matter on the uptrend, same thing. Trend tired, right? Trend, cool. Then downtrend, trend tired, trend, cool. Back on the uptrend where we're at now. Trend tired, back on the trend, right? So how far is this trend gonna go? Are we going to continue to follow this higher high, higher low that we have on every single time frame, right? So just want to be aware of that. Just want to be keep a very close eye on that. That's all it really is. Right? And again, that's all we could do as traders. Just try to keep a close eye on everything that you can. And keep it simple. We already know the rules that we're looking for at the end of the day. Market opens. Alright, cool. We'll be looking for a little 23 to a 38.2 retracement, so just so you guys can see it on the chart. Right? We know we'll be looking for a pullback somewhere in this area. Right? So let's just, for reference, I'll be looking for a pullback somewhere like this. And then we'll go on from there. And we'll see what happens. Right? So going on to the next one, ECAD. Daily time frame. We are at level 2. Sitting at the higher high in level 2 in an uptrend. No continuations on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we had a week of rise. And then price this hiccups again. And then price this week gave us a second week of rise. Third week high. And then 30-minute time frame. Price gave us change of character, break of structure, higher high, higher low. Gave us another higher high, higher low. Gave us 2 days of rise. And then this is the third day. Third day high. Let's see if we can get that pullback. Euro USD. We were in V1 in an uptrend, first zone of consolidation. Price gave us the break, gave us a little retest, and gave us another higher high, right? This higher high that we have on the push to the top side didn't give us a valid break just yet. So we can't say that these pushes back down to the bottom that we could see here, right, on the 4-hour time frame specifically. I can't say that this is a higher low to continue into a higher high. Again, all because the highs of the previous structure weren't broken. The previous higher highs weren't broken. It was just testing candles. So because of that, is already giving us a little early indicator, like maybe stay away from this trade going long, right? These trades that you see going long aren't that strong at this point, right? And that's what we're going to be seeing right now. Price is very close to being a no net. Price ended up giving us, since we are in an uptrend, 3 weeks of rise on the third week. Price did give us a rise in no net. Could we expect the 4th week variation? Is not something that I'm expecting. Now, could it happen? Absolutely. Where price goes back to the top side. Could it happen? For sure. Right? We know we have engulfing candles here at the bottom of the structure that we were looking for, right, early on the trading day on Friday, where price never gave us a pullback, just kind of consolidated. Went up at Asia session, and then just consolidated throughout London and all of NYC. So again, at this point, it is still a pair that's in an uptrend. We can't sit here and deny that. This is a pair that has 2 days of rise. Could we expect price to give us a third day push? Again, it could happen. Definitely could happen. So again, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens. Gonna speed up just a little bit. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me. 20 minutes deep, but again, all of these pairs are also treated the exact same way, guys. There's nothing different to them. They're all done the exact same way. Everything is the exact same. So it's just very repetitive, right? And again, we'll do two more here. We already know, I don't really go over the US 30, the gold, the Bitcoin, the oil. So we're pretty much already done here almost. So not really trading GJ, but we'll go over GJ. The JPY pairs look good now. So GA, we're in level 3 in an uptrend, right? We had push 1, first zone of consolidation, push 2, second zone of consolidation, and we have push 3, which broke the previous peak high, right? So we're already in peak high territory. So GA, I'm not really trading it. Again, pairs that are in peak high territory, I don't really trade, excluding obviously the indexes and the commodities. But the Forex pairs, we tend to stay away from them as much as possible, especially when they're in peak highs or peak low territory. If they're not in a trend, then we're most likely not even going to pay attention to it. And that's okay. Again, we have so many other pairs to keep an eye on that I'm okay with letting one go until it starts trending again. And once we start trending, then we'll start taking the trade. It's no problem. Right? I don't need to be in a rush when I'm taking trades. Right? So the good thing about GA that we just see now is we have 2 days of rise. Could be looking for that third day push back to the top side. What you want to be careful for is obviously the trends. GA is still a pair that's been downtrending for how long now? How many weeks? So again, yeah, it looks like price wants to give you 2 days of rise. It gave you a zone of consolidation. It gave you a break. Like, how many traders do you think are going to be looking to take these trades? Retest to continue, right? A break, retest to continue. All along, when you're looking at market structure, price is giving you lower low, lower high, lower low. So could this push to the top side? Could this be the lower high here for price to continue into a lower low? Absolutely. So you want to be careful with that. You see, these are the small things that people just tend to, I don't even want to say forget, but just like overlook. Is that little mistake right there that separates the 80%, 90% win rates to the 20%, 30%, 40%, 50% win rates. Right? So again, guys, feel free to message me any questions, anything that's not making sense, let me know. We're just gonna keep on going. So GCAD, we are in level 3. We're still in an uptrend and we're still good to go. We still have a long way to go to the previous peak high territory. Right? We're still in a higher high. We are still in an uptrend, which is good. No continuations on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, no continuations. We had a week of drop last week. This week, price gave us a week of rise, which is good. But we could still see internally prices giving us lower lows and lower highs. So again, this is another pair that we still want to be careful, right? Because again, it looks like, oh look, 2 days of rise, third day, all right. But look at the trends. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Could this be the lower high to continue into a lower low? Absolutely. And we've been downtrending for how long? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Right? So I would be delusional to say, oh yeah, GCAD looks good, because it doesn't. It really doesn't. Right? We're gonna take buy positions when price is still downtrending. What world does that make sense? right? On what world does that make sense? So be careful with that. Once again, all it takes is just keeping an eye on the charts. That's all it is. That's all it takes, right? And why do I say that? Because it's very simple, right? All you have to wait for is for these candlesticks to print. Candlesticks are a language at the end of the day. And if you don't understand the language, you're not going to be able to trade it, right? Some people aren't fluent in the language, but are still able to trade it because they know how to pass, they know how to get by. They know how to say hello. They know how to say goodbye. They need to say, I need to use the restroom. They know how to say, I need water. They know how to say, I need food, right? What else, if you're in a foreign country, what else do you need to say? You don't need to have full-blown conversations. You just need to be able to get by, right? And that goes a long way. So think of trading the exact same way. You're just trying to get by, right? If that's how you're trying to go through it, if you don't want to take the courses and learn the language and the culture, if you want to just get by, you could do it. It's possible, right? But understanding everything else that goes into this, like, okay, let's break this down. Right, GCAD, we know we're looking for buys, right? We know that we're in an overall uptrend. Okay. For us to sit here and say that we're going to get higher and we're going to go higher and we're going to continue to see these buys and we're going to continue to see these uptrend moves, what do we need to see? Well, first and foremost, on the 30-minute time frame, we're going to want to keep an eye on these levels here. Why? And for many reasons. And we'll just start off. We're just talking about the 30 minutes too. I'm not gonna do anything else but the 30, just so you guys can see the confluence. So right now, let's ignore the EMAs. Right now, let's ignore everything aside from just candlesticks. So there's two things to notice here. Well, first of all, if you know your candlestick patterns, your candlestick analysis, you already know that this is a shoulder, head, right? And it looks like price is going to give us another shoulder here. If price breaks these lows, then we already know, boom, perfect. We're going to continue those shorts. If price gives us an inducement of the low and starts giving us higher low, then we know we could take these trades back to the top side. With that being said, what else is printed on the chart here? An engulfing candle. So what else do we know? Very simple. If price breaks below our engulfing candle, which right now, if we were to take this trade, we would be in drawdown, right? What do we need to wait for? Same thing. Either a break of the lows, retest to continue, or this is where the inducement of the lows will happen to then continue that push to the top side. So it's just a matter of being patient. Once you already calculate, okay, cool, this is my point of interest, this is the reason why, and you start pinpointing and giving yourself and your trading journal a reason as to why you're taking a trade and why you're not taking a trade, this is what's going to elevate you from being a 20% win rate trader, a 30% win rate trader, to being a 75%, 80%, 90% win rate trader. Giving yourself the reason as to why and why not, and backing it up. And not being able to do it, just do it on one chart. No, being able to do it on one chart with 8 years of past experience, right? Of past data, right? Of past chart data. Giving yourself the reason is seeing it on not only one chart, but seeing it on 15 other charts. And having the same rules, right? So a lot of people would say, oh, but we're above the 800 EMA. It breaks above the 800. That has to respect it. Yes, but market structure is king. Why would the market makers break above the 800? For exactly that same reason. The EMA traders to fake them out. Right? Because the market makers need a win. At the end of the day, when you're looking at market structure, you're still trading lower lows and lower highs. So it doesn't matter what you see in between this low and this high. It doesn't matter what happens in between it. What you need to see is, okay, is price going to continue higher? Is it going to respect these lower highs? Or is it going to reject to continue into higher highs and higher lows in the internal time frame? Which again, higher high, higher low in the internal time frame. And we have pretty much all of this pushed to the top side. We're not going to sit here and say this is higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Right? So you're getting a little in too deep, but it's okay. Right? This is good. So you guys could kind of have a little bit of content to keep an eye on. Right, GJ, I'm not really trading it, so we're just gonna go ahead and skip through it. But what I'm pretty much looking at is for price to break these highs. Um, at this point, we'll have to wait for the Monday candle to close. So I still have to wait another day and a half to take that trade on GJ, or to even consider taking a trade on GJ. Price is very close to the opening candles, 28 pips. I'm not going to update the 4 hour until Monday morning on the live trading session, and pretty much very similar to GCAD when it comes to that 372, especially going long, especially in this area. Right, I don't want to take no trades just yet. I want to, sorry, I got hiccups. I want to wait to see if we're going to get these valid breaks. If we get these valid break of the highs in the daily time frame, then I'll start looking to take those trades going long. If we don't get these valid breaks and price gives us another testing candle, then we're going to go back down the same way we did it for the last 4 times that we've been in this area. So that's what I'll be waiting for on GJ. And again, I'm not really trading it, so we're just going to skip over it. And at this point, I am just going to start speeding up just a little bit. GU, we are in an uptrend. We were in V1. Again, V1 is the first zone of consolidation in an uptrend. We had higher high break, higher low retest. Then price came up and gave us another higher high. It gave us a valid break, right? Then gave us another little retest, right? So GU is looking good, and GU is another pair that I am expecting price to give me a pullback. We didn't get one the last time. Price just continued higher high, higher low the entire time, which is good, right? But again, at one point you do want to see price start giving you valid pullbacks, and GU gave us a rise drop on the 4 hour time frame. But as we stated, even on the first pairs that we did, right, again, I'm not really expecting price to give us another push to the top side. And very similar to as to I think it was AU or ACAD with the 4 hour high. The reason being is because price never gave me a valid break of the highs. Gave me testing candles the entire time. So I can't say that this is going to be higher high, higher low into the higher high. Right? I know that we're going to get a steeper pullback. So at this point, even for GU, which goes into EU, and also goes into US 30, like I'm not really expecting these USD pairs to continue the push to the top side. I am expecting price to give us a pullback finally, start giving us those downtrend pushes to the bottom. And again, overall it would make sense, and I'm okay with that. Right? Because again, GU, where are we? We're at the top of the zone of consolidation. Or I'm sorry, we're at the top of level 2 in an uptrend. Right? We're at a higher high when we're looking at market structure even on the daily time frame. At a higher high, we're looking for a pullback, a higher low. We're in level 2, and level 2 we want to see price bounce off the 200 EMA. Shit, that's right on target. That would make sense. I would love to see a bounce off the 200 EMA here on GU. Right? When we're talking about EU, it's kind of very similar. Structure looks a little bit better, but it's the same thing. Right? We're in level 2 in an uptrend. We're sitting at a higher high. We'd love to see a higher low. Higher low in level 2, that push we want to see is where? Off the bounce off the 200 EMA. 200 EMA, look where it's at. Right? This pullback would give us the gap fill, and it'll also give us that bounce off the 200. It's perfect. Everything lines up. So once you start seeing that everything lines up, it just makes trading so much easier. Right? So much easier. So that's all this waiting game is, guys. It's just waiting for the right opportunity. So, I have something in the works that I can't talk about just yet. I don't want to say anything until everything is finalized. It is something for 2026, so it's still a lot of time before then. But man, it's gonna be, if I'm able to do it and I'm able to do it correctly, and it is something that I'm gonna have to start working on from now. Um, you know, all I'm gonna say is it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna enjoy it. Gonna be stressed. It's gonna be very stressful, but I think the trial run really does start now. This week really does start that trial run of what's gonna be in 2026. So pretty much what I'm looking at right now with these other pairs. You know, again, I'm pretty much done trading, or not even trading, but done with the breakdowns. Um, at this point, I'm just kind of observing what price is doing for a lot of these other pairs. Like these last couple pairs, I don't trade it. I just still, for the ones who do trade it and want to stick around to see me update it, this is pretty much the time in this video where we're gonna do that. Again, I'm not gonna give no explanations, but I'll kind of try to say something to kind of give everybody an idea as to what I'm looking at. Right? With US 30, we could clearly see we were uptrending and we started downtrending, right? Change of character, break of structure, lower high. Didn't give us a valid break of the highs, gave us inducements of the highs, and then started downtrending, right, on the lower time frames. Right now we have a week of drop. Then price ended up giving us a no net, which is okay. Would have loved to have seen a second week of drop. Would have given us a clean, crystal cut, clean, clear uh confirmation as to where price wanted to go. No valid break of the highs yet, so we still can't say that this is going to be a higher low. And we know that we still have that gap at the bottom of the market. So the good thing is that, again, I can't say that we're sitting at a higher low because we're at the inducement of the high. So what I want to see is lower time frame, lower lows and lower highs, which again, we don't have that on the 4 hour time frame, and that on the 30-minute time frame. Let's go ahead and start deleting this. Right, on the 30-minute time frame, we had change of character, lower low, right? Let's say I'm gonna say that this is all lower low, lower high. Then we had a break of structure, lower low, right? And this is the lower high that we're trading in right now. Right now where price is at is the lower high. With that being said, going into next week, you already know what I'm gonna be looking at. When it comes to US 30, I'll be looking for that lower low, and we have that gap at the bottom of the market that we have here. We already know where price wants to go. It's just a matter of when and how fast price is gonna do it. Right after 3 days of drop, market must move sideways or go up, and we ended up going up. Right, I do want to check again on these higher time frames. Do we have any engulfing candles? Right, nothing on the daily, nothing on the 4, nothing on the 1 hour, nothing on the 30. It's 15 maybe? 15 we had a nice one. A few nice ones towards the end of the session after ADR was hit. We had one at 11:30 a.m. and then another one. Um, I'm sorry, we had one at 9:30 a.m. and then another one at 11:45 a.m. So, but again, it was after ADR. We'll wait it out. Still looking good for US 30 though. Alright, USD CAD, USD ZAR, I'm not really trading it either. And go ahead and delete some of these drawings. Clean this up a little bit. USD ZAR, I'm not trading it, but we'll keep this updated like I said. Gold, let's look at this real quick. Really quick. Gold, we know we're still in peak high territory. We're still making higher highs and higher lows. We're still uptrending. Go ahead and delete some of these things real quick. Right? Um, we had a week of rise. Price gave us a week of drop. And no continuations. Still making higher highs and higher lows. And then on the 30-minute, we have on the 30-minute time frame, we still have those gaps at the bottom of the market. You know, at this point, we know that we're trading between the change of character, higher high, still no valid break, so we still don't have a valid confirmation as to where price wants to go. We are sitting at the 800 EMA, still no break, no valid break of these lows just yet. So again, no confirmation that price wants to continue to go lower. And again, that's good. I do want to see price push up on gold, right? Um, you know, there's a little bit of confirmations here that we have. Let's start from the top to the bottom. Once again, I would love to see price go down based off the fact that we have these gaps at the bottom of the market, but that's okay. We know that price eventually has to go down. So if it doesn't go down now, that's okay. It doesn't have to go down now. It could go down in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, right? We know that it has to go down and we'll wait on it. So there's a few gaps, or there's a few engulfing candles to keep an eye on, and we'll mark them so we know that this is the 1 hour engulfing. Right, and then we know that we have another 1 hour engulfing here. So then you start questioning, like, alright, which one are we using, which one are we not using? And again, this is where market structure will come into place every single time. Market structure will always be anything, any type of indicator that you have, any other confirmation that you have. Market structure is king, right? So why, you know, this is all about, you know, just understanding what time frame you're looking at, and also the time session that you're trading this, right? So on the daily time frame, there's not a lot that we could go off on, right? So we know that we're in peak high territory. We know we're pretty much in level 3. We know that we want to see price bounce off the 50 EMA. We don't have none of that on the daily. We have none of that really on the 4 hour either. We're still below the 50 actually, right? On the 1 hour, even then, right? Right now on the 1 hour, we're right on the 50. These pullbacks don't even look, um, they don't look healthy, right? We have no bounces off the EMAs. Now we go down to lower time frames and we can see, okay, well, we're sitting on it right now. Pause. Right. We're on the EMA right now. We're on the engulfing candle. Wouldn't this be the strong area to take the trade? And I would say, yeah. Wouldn't be wrong. So the next question would be, well, what are we looking for? Well, what are the next steps when you're looking to take a trade? What are the next steps you want to make sure you want to see before you take a trade? And that's being able to see that price has turned around. Price at one point was giving you lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And then what did price do? Right, just to be aware. Right? Price gave us change of character, break of structure. Boom. This is already telling me we'll most likely get this type of pullback here to continue. So it's all about being patient, waiting for the right time, and then attacking once you get that entry. So we'll keep an eye on gold. Bitcoin, we got back down to the 100. Wow. They're really going through it, huh? 2 days of drop, market open. Could we get a third day low? At the end of the day, price gave us an engulfing candle, gave us the retest, and now we're straight into profit. Right now, again, we know that Bitcoin very, very similar to US 30 is in an overall uptrend. right? We're still in peak high territory. This is again still a pair that is on a third month push to the top side. And once again, we know that Bitcoin follows US 30. We know that it moves opposite of what gold does. So, see you later. Um, oh, welcome. Um, he did just get here. My bad, just threw me off. We know that gold and 30 move opposite, right? So with that being said, again, since I am looking for buys on gold, and 30 did look like shorts were in, now what does that tell me with Bitcoin? That we're most likely not gonna get that third push to the top side on the daily time frame, which is okay. We already knew that that was a possibility. And once again, why did we know that that was a possibility? Again, same thing as every other pair. What were we trading? We know that for Bitcoin, we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? And what happened at these higher highs? Did price give us a valid break of these highs? No. They're all testing candles. They're all testing the zone. They're all touching the line. None of these were valid breaks. Because price never gave us a valid break, I cannot say that this is higher high. I can't say that these pushes down to the bottom are going to be the higher low. I can't. It just doesn't make any sense, right? So with that being the case, now that we go down to the lower time frames, now that we can see price giving us lower lows and lower highs, now it's like, okay, cool. Well, let's turn around real quick, right? Do we have any engulfing candles on the daily time frame going short? Any bearish engulfing candles, right? And we have one here. Green, green, red. Although I don't like this one because that green candle is like a little doji, right? But it worked out, right? Gave you the retest. You were in drawdown just a little bit, but then went straight into profit. But I'm not going to use that one on the daily time frame, right? Since it was already used up too, there's no point, right? On the 4 hour time frame, 4 hour time frame, we do have one here, green, green, red, but we don't have a retest just yet. But let's go ahead and mark it. Green, green, red, haven't given us the retest just yet. 1 hour time frame, nothing on the 1 hour, and then I don't want to go lower than the 15 here on Bitcoin. Usually I wouldn't even go lower than the 1 hour. Yeah. So we'll see. Again, this retest would be already when price gives us the ADR for the day. So that's the only thing that kind of sucks. But ultimately, we are still looking for price to give us that third day push back down to the bottom. So we'll see what price does. Maybe in a lower time frame. We'll be looking for price to be given, or entries to be given to us on a lower time frame. Maybe that's what's happening. You know, at this point in the 1 minute time frame, we are uptrending. Price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, and then gave us higher high, higher low, higher high to the top side. So we'll wait it out. We'll see what happens. And then last but not least, US oil gave us a retest of our engulfing candle. As soon as it gave us a retest of the engulfing, went straight into profit. Kind of sucks because again, this entry was given already when price gave us ADR for the day. The entry was at close to 1 in the afternoon, which kind of sucks again, just based off the fact that we're not on the chart at that time. And yeah, as soon as it gave us that retest, it just went straight into profit. But that's okay. US oil is another one of those pairs currently sitting in a situation where could we say we're sitting in a lower high? We could. We could say that this is lower low and that this is the lower high. So we just got to be patient. Once price starts giving us lower lows and lower highs on the lower time frame, gives us a change of character, gives us the break of structure, then we'll start taking those trades. Even here on the 4 hour time frame, I just noticed gave us an engulfing candle. But again, we weren't really up for those entries. Didn't really give us any entry criteria. So that's pretty much it. Any questions, feel free to message me. Feel free to leave any questions or any feedback in the comments. And we'll be back again on Monday morning for the live trading session. Peace out, guys.